And we also advanced, as you've seen the summary, cuts to some of the agencies that we believe are really overreaching and have been turned in some ways against the American people.
Now, the Republicans have sharpened their number 2 pencils, and they're getting ready to get busy saving the American people some fat stacks. Did you see where they're going to start with cuts to some of the agencies they believe are overreaching and targeting the American people? Now, that sounds a bit mystical, don't it? So let's just jump in with both feet, shall we? Now, let's see. What do you reckon them overreaching agencies might be? Maybe it's the Department of Education. You know how the Republicans are always afraid America is getting too much education. Maybe it's that. But wait, it could be NASA. Why do Republicans need to fund space exploration when QAnon says that the lizard aliens are already here? Well, whatever it is, it's going to be something the American folks really need. Now let's see. What would the party of law and order want to cut first?
We're going to cut 3% from DOJ, 6% from the FBI.
This made T-Pain tilt his head like a dog that heard a funny noise. T's going to be totally honest with you. This just don't make no sense. Why, it seems just like yesterday.
I am the law and order candidate.
I am your president of law and order.
And I'll tell you what, the people of this country want and demand law and order.
You heard old Trump loud and clear. The people of this country want and demand law and order. But for some silly reason, Republicans can't wait to start cutting money from the very agencies enforcing the same aforementioned law and order Americans are supposedly clamoring for. So why cut money from the FBI? Heck, it's even being run by old Christopher Wray, a Trump appointee. So what could possibly have changed between the time Trump made those statements and now? Why do Republicans suddenly want to get rid of the FBI?
There's breaking news out of Palm Beach, Florida. Former President Trump says his Mar-a-Lago home there is being raided by the FBI right now.
You remember what old MAGA Mike said in the opening clip? He said these agencies have been turned against the American people. Now, by any chance, are you folks hiding top secret documents in your bathrooms? And be honest, who among us hasn't tried to flood a server room or two? Well, okay, T-Pain, sure, the Republicans are mad at the FBI about Mar-a-Lago, but the Department of Justice is literally in charge of law and order. Why on God's green earth would they want to get rid of the Department of Justice?
The Department of Justice has long recognized that in certain extraordinary cases, it is in the public interest to appoint a special prosecutor to independently manage an investigation and prosecution. Based on recent developments, including the former president's announcement that he is a candidate for president in the next election, and the sitting president's stated intention to be a candidate as well, I have concluded that it is in the public interest to appoint a special counsel.
Now, maybe the Republicans are on to something. Maybe the Department of Justice is just getting overly sensitive in its old age. You see, to Republicans, it just ain't fair. You try to overthrow the government just one time, and all of a sudden, you're an insurrectionist. On to the next funding cut, MAGA Mike.
7% from the ATF.
Cuts to the ATF? Why would you possibly want to cut money from the very agency that helps keep illegal firearms off the street?
Multiple capital entries! Multiple capital entries! Fuck you, police!
Even 3 years later, it's mighty hard to watch that footage of that peaceful patriotic demonstration, ain't it, folks? Now, can you imagine what it would have been like with no TF to keep automatic weapons out of the hands of them insurrectionists? Heck, they might have won. But you're probably saying, T-Pain, all that stuff's in the past. Why do they want to defund law enforcement now? Surely they ain't planning on doing it again, are they?
Welcome to the end of democracy. We're here to overthrow it completely. We didn't get all the way there on January 6th, but we will endeavor to get rid of it and replace it with this right here. We'll replace it with this right here.
Amen.
Well, I gotta admit it, T-Pain, you're starting to make some sense. Sure, they hate the FBI because they caught Trump with his nuclear panties down. And naturally, they want to end the DOJ because they arrested Trump's January 6th mob and they're going after the insurrectionists in chief as we speak. And true enough, they want to get rid of the ATF so they can get all the guns they need to end democracy. But I got you on this one, T-Pain. Why do they need to cut 10% from the EPA? Well, that one's simple, brothers and sisters. After a hard day of overthrowing the government, they're going to need a little beer money. T-Pain out.